I wanted to touch base on your interview with George Webb. You had a great one, great interview. Your interview with George Webb, The Crimes of the Clinton Foundation. Have you been following this closely? And what do you think about George Webb's coverage on that?
Look, I think he's done some fantastic research. I really do. What he's offered is some real journalism. I mean, real journalism, connecting the dots. He's not speculating on things. It's all coming straight from their own words, from their own emails. You know, the emails of people like Blumenthal and Podesta and Hillary Clinton. You know, the links to human trafficking and the manufacture of war. Everything that's been going on for the last couple of decades. I mean, even way back as far as Kosovo, what happened in Yugoslavia, the Balkanization of Yugoslavia. You can see that Hillary Clinton's hands are even on that. It goes so deep. It's really, really outstanding journalism that he's put forth here, and it's something that everybody out there can get into and understand because it's in their own words. It's not conspiratorial. It's not something that you've really got to think about, and it's not speculation. This shows in their own language that the people on the man on the street can understand this. You know, you've got a serious criminal element which has infiltrated the US political system. It's being run by the Clinton Foundation mainly. Of course, there are other players as well. But what this foundation is doing, I mean, it's no wonder the world is in such a terrible state. And we've seen so much war in the last couple of decades, and all of this has come from the Clinton Foundation. I think it's really outstanding journalism that he's done. There's a bigger picture to it. I mean, he's not saying all the things, but with what he's looking at, he's pretty well nailed it, and he's put it all together in such a way that anybody can understand it. All you've got to do is go through those videos, and you see all the connections, all the smoking guns, and blatant, like in their own words, like, you know, send me the plan for the top level of Libya, all this sort of stuff. Like, all of this stuff was planned in advance, and it was all done for mainly financial reasons. I mean, all of these wars that we've seen and all these attacks against these countries we've seen have basically been bank robberies. I mean, they go in there and they steal all the resources, including the people, and they transfer it all offshore. That's what Hillary Clinton's been involved in on a massive scale. And this exposes it all. So I think it's outstanding research, and I think everybody should go and look at the research of George Webb. You can find his YouTube channel. It's just George Webb with 2 B's. Or you can go to my website, thecrowhouse.com, and right there on the homepage, you'll see a link called Where is Eric Braverman? Just check that and check out those videos and watch how this case has been unfolding. It's pretty amazing stuff, really.
He really did a great job on that. I've only seen a couple of the videos. Now I want to go look at all of them, and especially the Gladio B portion of it. In regards to Gladio B, Gladio B is the act of Gladio was the act of leaving arms and supplies in a country after an action so that we can pick up where we left off before, or we can have other actors do so. And this is Gladio B,
which and you'll find that these Gladio actions are ongoing. Sorry, the lag was getting me there. I thought you'd finished, but you'll find that these Gladio operations are ongoing. There isn't just one Gladio operation. It's a code name for a particular operation, which you've just described, which happens in almost every one of these conflicts. There is a Gladio operation. So yeah, please continue. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you didn't interrupt. The lag actually helped us in that case. So here's the thing about that the leaving equipment in operations. Now, when I was over in Iraq the first time, we had people, different military units were destroying everything that they left behind so that the enemy could not use it instead of carrying it all back. To include truckloads of water, they would burn it so that the enemy could not use it after we left. It's such a huge waste, and it looks like contractors are making billions on this waste, in addition to starting up the next action that we're going to take overseas. I can only imagine what it's doing to the budget too, and all this. And the taxpayers here in America, we're the ones who's having to pay for all this stuff. Meanwhile, these contractors are making billions because it costs them nothing because the taxpayers are paying for it. It doesn't cost them anything to make this happen, and they just reap the rewards. Then the next action and the gold the stealing of the gold. Did you had a lot on that too, didn't you? As far as that,
the stealing of the gold. I mean, this happens in every country. Every country you go and invade, there's resources there. There's financial resources. There's the people, the human trafficking you can get. There's the oil and natural resources, and there's the gold. There's the money that they've got stashed. Usually, a lot of these dictators have got all sorts of assets all over the place. Like Gaddafi had something like 29 billion or something, 11 billion in gold or something, and 265 billion in hidden assets around Europe and stuff. So what they do is they find a way of stealing all of this stuff as well. You can't just steal a country's gold and all of its money and suddenly deposit it in your bank. It sort of looks suspicious. So what the Clinton Foundation has done is they've set up a gold mine in Haiti. And this gold mine in Haiti, I believe it isn't actually producing any gold at all. But what they can do, like if they go into Libya, they get Gaddafi's 29 billion worth of gold, they funnel it into Haiti, and then they say, oh, look at the gold we found in our gold mine, and they pay a 2% finder's fee to the Haitian government, which is pittance. So that's a good way of laundering the money. You can bring all the gold in, you can bring all the money and say, oh, look, this money is from other gold we sold. Here's the books that we've got to show you. So they can do it all through the gold mine. This is where we're getting all our money from, is from this gold mine in Haiti, which is producing no gold. This is how they're funneling all the resources out from all the countries they're overtaking, straight through Haiti. And there's projects going on in Dominica and all sorts of stuff which connect to this. So I really recommend people go and look at George Webb's videos and check it out. If you start at day 53 and go through from there, I mean, there's a lot of videos. There's about 50 or 60 videos now. There's 2 or 3 coming out every day that can be anything from 2 to 15 minutes. So there's new information coming out all the time. And it isn't just George Webb that's doing it. There's a whole community of online researchers which are pouring through the Clinton emails and connecting the dots and then sending information to George Webb, and he's simply compiling it in a way we can understand so we can get the update for the day. So, but there's this huge system that Hillary Clinton has set up, like with the funneling of finances. They set up the IHRC fund, which is a way they can funnel all of these finances through into subsidiary companies and all sorts of stuff. It's very convoluted, but when you look at it, you see the Clinton Foundation can basically go into a country and undermine a country and overthrow it and steal all of its resources, and you'll find that there are major generals, heads of NATO, all sorts of people who have shares in companies who manufacture parts that they use in war. So all these people have a vested interest in making sure the war keeps going. And if you look at it, you'll get the oil barons. They'll go into a country, they'll identify an oil resource. Then the generals will figure out a strategy of how to take over that country. And then you get companies such as Otpor, which is prides itself on being a destabilization expert. They will come in, they'll destabilize the country so that the military can come in, the general can put their plan in and do all this. But ultimately, it's all about the oil, it's about the pipeline. Yes. So that's the way they do it. The Arab Spring, the way they did Arab Spring, they cooked up this whole concept that there was these protesters that wanted to overthrow the government, and then they get their own agents, who are the ones who started the protest. They get their own agents to start shooting civilians in the protests, and then they claim, the government is attacking civilians, barrel bombs, whatever. The US military needs to come in to protect the people, when it's these people who started it all to begin with, and the US military just being played. These guys are going out there fighting wars for oil barons. They're not protecting national security. They're not protecting US interests. They're not spreading democracy. They're fighting bankers and oil barons' wars, and many of them simply don't know it.
Exactly.